Childhood emotional neglect is a type of neglect that occurs when parents or caregivers fail to provide emotional support and validation that children need to develop into emotionally healthy adults. It can be a difficult issue to overcome, but there are ways to address it and move forward. Hi, my name is Ursula. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing childhood emotional neglect. In your childhood, if you experience neglect from who is supposed to be your primary caregiver, most times it will be your biological parents, but for some people it might not be their biological parents. In any case, the primary caregiver is supposed to be attentive to your needs, nurturing, warm, compassionate. They may not really display those things towards the children that they are supposed to be taking care of. They may not even speak to them or acknowledge them. They may be very harsh or critical, a lot of judgments. They may have very unrealistic expectations of the kids that they deprive them of love when they do not meet their expectations. I went through this and it really affected me terribly growing up. I had a father that was extremely strict and never showed my brother and I love growing up. Growing up was hell, but I had to constantly and deliberately work on myself to be the person I am today. Was it tough? Yes, it was very tough growing up because I practically had to grow up on my own. I had to figure out life on my own. I made mistakes along the way, but in all, it made me the woman I am today. Childhood emotional neglect can have profound and lasting effects on our lives, often impacting our mental and emotional well-being. Here are some ways in which childhood emotional neglect can affect us when we grow up. Difficulty forming and maintaining relationships. If we did not receive emotional support and validation as children, we may struggle to form and maintain healthy relationships as adults. We may have difficulty trusting others, fear intimacy, or even struggle to express our emotions, which can strain our relationship and leave us feeling isolated and alone most times. Low self-esteem. Without the validation and support we needed as children, we may struggle with feelings of low self-worth and self-doubt. We may feel inadequate, unworthy of love and attention, or struggle with imposter syndrome most times. Difficulty regulating emotions. Emotional neglect can also impact our ability to regulate our emotions. We may struggle to identify and express our feelings or experience intense emotions without understanding why. This can lead to mood swings, anxiety, and even depression. Detachment from your feelings or numbness. Emotional neglect can leave us feeling empty or numb, as if something crucial is missing from our lives. You might be sensitive to rejection by others, so to avoid rejection, you might isolate yourself. We may struggle to find joy or fulfillment in our lives, leaving us feeling unsatisfied and unfulfilled. People pleasing or codependent behavior. If we were neglected emotionally as children, we may have learned to prioritize others' needs and feelings over our need. This can lead to people pleasing or codependent behavior as adults, which can be detrimental to our mental and emotional well-being. Inability to assert boundaries. Emotional neglect can also impact our ability to assert healthy boundaries. We may struggle to say no or prioritize our own needs, which can lead to feelings of resentment and burnout. I was on this boat for a very long time, but right now I'm learning to say no when the need arises. Perfectionism. Emotional neglect can also contribute to perfectionistic tendencies, which may feel that we need to be perfect in order to receive love and validation, which can be exhausting and lead to feelings of anxiety and self-doubt. Childhood emotional neglect can impact our mental and emotional well-being in profound ways, leaving us struggling to form and maintain relationships, regulate our emotions, assert boundaries, and finding joy and fulfillment in our lives just because we didn't have a good model caring for us. Even if you didn't have this nurturing care as a child, it's never too late to learn how to nurture and care for yourself. Recognizing and addressing these effects is essential to healing and moving forward in a positive direction. So, now that we know what childhood emotional neglect is, I would like us to discuss how to overcome them. Overcoming childhood emotional neglect is a challenging process, but it is possible. Some ways to overcome them and reclaim your emotional well-being are recognizing and acknowledging the effects of childhood emotional neglect. Before you can begin to heal from emotional neglect, it's essential to recognize and acknowledge the impact it has had on your life. You must first understand what childhood emotional neglect is First of all, this can be a difficult and painful process, but it is the first step towards healing. Seek therapy. Working with a therapist can be incredibly beneficial in addressing the effects of childhood emotional neglect. A therapist can help you identify and understand the patterns of behavior that may be holding you back and help you develop coping strategies to overcome them. Learn to express your emotions. One of the most common effects of childhood emotional neglect is difficulty expressing emotions. Learning to identify and express your emotions can be a powerful tool in overcoming childhood emotional neglect. Consider journaling, talking with a trusted friend, or practicing mindfulness to help you tune into your emotions. Build a support system. Building a support system of understanding and supportive individuals can be incredibly beneficial in overcoming childhood emotional neglect. Seek out people who uplift and validate you and who can offer you the support and encouragement you need to heal. Practice self-care. Self-care is crucial when dealing with emotional neglect. Taking care of yourself physically and mentally can help you develop a sense of self-worth and improve your overall well-being. Consider activities such as exercise, meditation, or spending time in nature to help you relax and recharge. Learn to set boundaries. Setting healthy boundaries is a crucial aspect of healing from emotional neglect. You may have learned to accommodate others' needs and feelings at the expense of your own, but setting boundaries can help you prioritize your own needs and feelings. Practice saying no and prioritizing your own needs to help you build stronger, healthier relationships. Forgive yourself and others. Healing from emotional neglect can be a long and difficult journey, and it's important to practice self-compassion along the way. Forgive yourself for any mistakes or missteps you may take, and try to extend compassion to those who may have hurt you in the past. Focus on the present. Finally, it's important to focus on the present moment as much as possible. While it's important to acknowledge and address the effects of childhood emotional neglect, dwelling on the past can be unproductive and even detrimental to your healing. Practice mindfulness and focus on the present moment to help you move forward in a positive direction. Most people, even in their adulthood, they still hurt, such that they can't even let go of their childhood emotional neglect. First of all, such a person is not being gentle to his or herself. But remember that when you are a kid, you're experiencing most things, if not all, in this world for the very first time. Every first interaction and early experience kind of starts shaping our perception of what is beyond right. We all use experiences in our past to make judgment about our present moment and our future, to also make predictions too. That is why if a child experiences emotional neglect from their caregiver or parent, they'll grow up thinking that the world is a harsh place. Childhood emotional neglect actually shapes the way we experience reality in this world. In summary, overcoming child emotional neglect requires hard work and dedication, but it is possible. By seeking therapy, building a support system, practicing self-care, setting healthy boundaries, and focusing on the present moment, you can reclaim your emotional well-being and move forward in a positive direction. Thank you for watching. If you have found this video helpful, do not forget to like and smash the subscribe button and also turn on the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my videos.